Kratos is the main character of Santa Monica Studios' God of War franchise, which is based on Greek and Norse mythology. He initially appeared in the 2005 video game God of War, which spawned 7 more games with him as the protagonist. A new installment is now in development for a 2022 release on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Kratos is also the protagonist of 2 comic series published in 2010 and 2018, as well as 3 novels that retell the events of 3 of the games. Terrence C. Carson portrayed the character from 2005 through 2013, with Christopher Judge taking over in the 2018 sequel, also titled God of War. If you want to know more about Kratos and his original mythical story, then stay tuned till the end of the video. Who is he according to Greek mythology? Kratos is the celestial personification of power in Greek mythology. Pallas and Styx are his parents. Nike, victory, 𝐵𝐴, force, and Zelus, glory, are all personifications of a trait, as are Kratos and his brothers. In Hesiod's Theogony, Kratos is first referenced alongside his siblings. Kratos and his brothers live with Zeus, according to Hesiod, because their mother Styx approached him first, requesting a position in his rule, and he honored her and her offspring with lofty posts. Kratos and his sister 𝐵𝐴 are well known for their appearance in Aeschylus's Prometheus Bound's opening scene. They lead the captured Titan Prometheus on stage as Zeus's agents. As a punishment for Prometheus's theft of fire, Kratos forces the mild-mannered blacksmith god Hephaestus to tether him to a rock. Kratos is shown as ruthless and vicious, ridiculing both Hephaestus and Prometheus and pushing for the use of excessive violence. He defends Zeus's tyrannical authority and prophesies that Prometheus will never be free. Electra asks Kratos, Dike, Justice, and Zeus to help her brother Orestes avenge their father Agamemnon's murder in Aeschylus's liberation bearers. In a late 5th century BC red figure Attic Skyphos portraying Ixion's punishment, Kratos and 𝐵𝐴 appear, probably based on a scene from a lost Euripides tragedy. They can also be found in late 18th and early 19th century romantic portrayals and adaptations of Prometheus's Bound. Theogony. Kratos is simply listed as a deified abstraction here, with no further development or explanation. Hesiod goes on to say that the children of Styx were allowed to live with Zeus because after the Titanomachy, Zeus ordered that all individuals who had not held posts under Kronos would be given positions in his administration. Because Styx and her offspring were the first to approach Zeus, he regarded them as among the most powerful members of the new dictatorship. Styx, Zelus, Nike, Kratos, and 𝐵𝐴's voluntary shift of allegiances reflects the certainty of Zeus's victory over the Titans, according to Diana Burton. While Dike, justice, eunomia, good law, and Irene, peace, represent the positive aspects of Zeus's reign, Kratos and his siblings represent the negative aspects of the work needed to build that regime. Prometheus Bound. In Dirk van Baburen's Prometheus being chained by Vulcan, 1623, Kratos is the one who orders Hephaestus to chain Prometheus in Aeschylus's Prometheus Bound. Kratos and his sister 𝐵𝐴 are transporting Prometheus to a lonely place in the Scythian forest, in the opening scene of the tragedy Prometheus Bound, which is typically credited to Aeschylus. Zeus himself gave the order to do so, and Kratos and 𝐵𝐴 are presented as the epitome of Zeus's new dictatorship. The play's oppressive image of Zeus is shown by the appearance of Kratos and 𝐵𝐴, but the absence of Nike and Zelus, since Kratos and 𝐵𝐴 represent the more despotic aspects of authority. Kratos, an example, represents the kind of straightforward thug for whom totalitarian regimes give endless career prospects, as Ian Ruffle puts it. Physical cruelty and pitilessness are used to reinforce Zeus's power. Despite the fact that 𝐵𝐴 is there in the scenario, she has no words. Kratos is the only one who talks. Despite Hephaestus' misgivings, Kratos coerces the mild-mannered blacksmith god Hephaestus into chaining Prometheus to the rocky crag. Hephaestus laments Prometheus' impending agony, prompting Kratos to mock him. Kratos compares the rule of law with fear-based rule, and he dismisses pity as a waste of time. Zeus is oppressive, according to Hephaestus and Kratos. Justice, according to Kratos, is a cosmic order in which the ruler, Zeus, chooses who gets what advantages and who doesn't. Anyone who crosses this social division is a criminal who must be dealt with harshly. Kratos claims that under the authority of a ruler like Zeus, no one is truly free except Zeus himself. This assessment is shared by Hephaestus. Hephaestus is frequently ordered by Kratos to employ more violence than is required in order to inflict as much suffering as possible on Prometheus. Hephaestus is given the task of nailing Prometheus's hands to the rock. After that, he tells him to smash a steel wedge into his chest. And finally, he tells him to bind Prometheus's legs to keep him immobile. Kratos is chastised by Hephaestus, who claims that his speech is as unattractive as his physical appearance. Kratos mocks Prometheus just before his execution, claiming that he will never be free of his bonds and that he does not merit his name. According to Robert Holmes Beck, Aeschylus's depiction of Prometheus's horrific punishment was meant to serve as an example of how wrongdoers should be punished in order to prevent others from breaking the law. Kratos' harshness isn't meant to be seen as excessive in this viewpoint, but rather as justified retaliation. How the character in the game God of War ties into the original Greek myth. Kratos was not given his name until late in the development stage of God of War. The name was picked solely for its Greek connotation of strength. Many parts of Kratos' personality are reminiscent of legendary Greek heroes, despite his role as god murderer being unrelated to any mythological stories. Gods have long wielded dominion over humans. Greek heroes were known for their bravery, enduring risky trips, tough labors, and other acts of valor. However, Greek mythology was complicated, and the lives of Greek heroes were frequently characterized by tragedy due to the three traditional genres in Greek theater: comedy, tragedy, and satyr. Kratos from God of War is therefore evocative of a tragic Greek figure. Kratos' fate is determined by the god's will, as it is for many famous heroes of mythology. Yet, as the games progress, Kratos opposes this will more and more. Instead of the mythological Kratos, Heracles is Kratos' most obvious mythological parallel. Hera dupes Heracles into murdering his own family, while Ares dupes Kratos into doing the same. While Heracles must accomplish 12 labors to be forgiven for this act, Kratos opts for a gory and savage vengeance, which is admittedly more entertaining to play. Kratos' Ghost of Sparta moniker is entirely made up, despite the fact that the Spartans were a real Greek community. Because Greek mythology is a collection of stories, there is no primary hero, but Kratos is unquestionably the central character in God of War. As a result, he plays a significant role in mythological events for which no comparable figure exists. Kratos gives God of War's collection of Greek mythology a feeling of continuity. In the games, Kratos becomes the God of War, yet in mythology, this title is always reserved for Ares. What are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comment box below. And if you like this video, then don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you share it with your friends before calling it a day.